The opening sequence for Se7en can be categorised under titles which are accompanied with a series of moving images. However, as Counts explains, and I quote, "Cooper incorporated the computer to reconcile traditional and modern techniques. In doing so, he revitalised film industry titles and redefined their visual style," end quote. Cooper's concept of combining older animation techniques that require hands-on work with contemporary digital design shows that cutting-edge title design can incorporate many different techniques, both digital and analog. Cooper was a creative director at R. Greenberg and Associates at the time when he created the opening credit sequence for Se7en. He introduced the grunge aesthetic to graphic design through this title sequence. The fetishistic survey he portrays is a view of a serial killer, a John Doe, who's assembling a diary documenting the murders that he'll execute during the film. Since the killer's not actually seen into the movie until about 40 minutes in, the titles serve to introduce the villain and help bridge that gap. However, the face of the villain is not revealed in order to maintain mystery. Meyerson describes this sequence as follows, and I quote, "Cooper's celebrated opening titles for David Fincher's Se7en sets the dark mood of the film with the jumpy, out-of-register graphics, superimposed on fetishistic shots of a serial murderer's grubby paraphernalia. The normal practice of using a pin register camera to prevent titles from weaving against the background plates was deliberately avoided in order to exaggerate the out-of-kilter sense of menace. And to achieve the degraded look of the footage, Cooper first hand-scratched the film stock with a needle, frame by frame, and this gave the footage a raw and textural feel. Then Cooper superimposed the jumpy-looking text over the shots of Doe's diary. The kinetic feel of the credit was achieved by jostling the camera as it filmed the words, just shaking the camera back and forth. The text was created with a hand-drawn alphabet, which draws attention to the physicality of the image-making process.
The idea that it's a handwritten font in Se7en is because, you know, the guy is a serial killer and he's keeping these journals and he's scratching the emulsion and he's developing his own. We want it to be like he's developing his own optical in the bathtub where he's writing on the film and it's all, you know, jumpy, and if you can help use the type to add to the overall tone or the overall impression that you're trying to set, it's just another tool that, you know, it shouldn't be an afterthought, but it should be integrated. I try to make the typography in service of the story that we're trying to tell.
With the scratching, blurring and double exposure, the letters disintegrate to the industrial rhythms of a remix of the song Closer by 9 Inch Nails. This sequence captured the disturbed mind of a serial killer and sets the tone for the entire film with its abrasive and stylised look. While shooting this sequence, Cooper admits that he had a hard time getting into the mindset of a psychopath. He says, and I quote, "I had some moral objections to using a shot where a razor blade is cutting the word God out of a dollar bill, but then I thought, hey, John Doe would do it," end quote. So Cooper's confession reveals the amount of work that he's actually put into these credit sequences, just in terms of like emotional as well as creative development, and once again shows that a deeper understanding of the film and its characters is necessary for the success of an opening credit sequence. Cooper's other films include The Island of Dr. Moreau from 1996, Mission Impossible, also 1996, Twister 1996, Flubber 1997, Sphere 1998, The Mummy 1999, and Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. Co-producer of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, Grant Curtis commented, and I quote, "It's a unique blend of auteur and creative genius that makes Cooper's sequences memorable, but not at the expense of the film," end quote.